Hey, it's Tom,
And Rumble.
and you're listening and watching the Happy Hour. Um, couple things, couple things we wanted to mention before we get started here is, as you know, if you've been following us on our social medias, we kind of are taking a new direction with the podcast here.
Yeah.
We're going to be focusing more on real issues here. Mental health, awareness. Breaking some of the stigmas that go with that. Also going to be dealing with, real problems of society.
Yeah. Holding yourself to a higher standard, be a better person.
Yep.
Be a better brother, be a better father.
Right. Here to, strengthen our community, be better to each other and be better people. So I think our first thing here is going to be about the stigmas of depression here.
Yeah.
We've been leaning kind of heavy in this, and safe to say, like when we first came up with the idea of doing a podcast, this is kind of what we wanted to do anyways, and then we kind of deviated and
tried different things.
Tried to be almost like a Opie and Anthony or whatever that show was called, kind of thing, and
it wasn't our niche.
It wasn't our niche, so we feel like talking about things like this is gonna not only be therapeutic for us, but also might help some people.
Right. Just there's big stigmas around. There's a lot. There's a especially for the guys. There's a lot of like toughen up, I'll suck it up. Rub some dirt on you, ain't hurt. Get up, let's go.
Right.
Be a man up.
Right.
Sometimes, man, it's tough. It's tough dealing with job, family,
stress, man.
Keeping everything together.
Stress is a big contributor to it,
Nowadays, with the economy, the shit's going on in the world today, like it's crazy. It's crazy, money doesn't go that far, and
no, it's definitely. I think we kind of mentioned it before. Like people are lost right now.
Yeah, they really are, and there's. It's almost to the point where you can almost feel it in the air. It's like tensions are high, and it's just about that shit hitting that fan.
Right.
And a lot of people are angry about the it seems just going to work every day and like you never get you're never getting ahead. You're always they keep you just a little bit under the thumb. And,
right.
And you see all the billions of dollars getting wasted and trillions of dollars being wasted away when we're scratching for peanuts down here,
Right,
and something's got to give.
Right, and I also think too that this might have less to do with that side of it, more to do with just people's interactions with each other.
Yeah.
But that's why today we're gonna sort of talk about a topic that touches millions of lives around the world, and it still kind of hides in the shadows, and there's a stigma that surrounds depression, and it's a very real thing. Mental illness has come a long way in the terms of awareness, but I still think that it's still something people whisper about.
Yeah. It's almost like you're ashamed to come out and say, like, hey, I'm depressed, I'm not, like...
Right, which is why they stay silent.
Yeah, people, you don't want people looking at you and, treating you anything different, but...
And that's sort of our goal is we want to break the silence, and we want to, we want people to not be embarrassed to talk about it, because I don't think there's anybody that hasn't been affected by it in some way, shape, or form, whether it's themselves or somebody they know.
Mm-hmm.
I
mean, how many people? I mean, I can personally tell you how many people I lost, over my years to depression, and depression, and then obviously, I mean, you could link suicide. I mean, overdoses, to a lot of the depression too, because people are using the drugs to self-medicate, themselves, and get them out of that hole, and it's terrible. And nowadays with the the fentanyl and everything, it's like you just put that gun right in front of somebody's face, because I mean that's basically what you're doing is you're playing with a loaded gun.
And right.
It's sad to see the young kids that are dying every day. The young kids and everybody that are dying every day.
Right. I think a good place to start is kind of with the basics, and people tend to not quite really understand what depression is, and it's not just feeling sad. It's a
Oh,
legitimate condition.
I mean, there's chemically imbalanced. There can be chemically imbalanced. Somebody can be chemically
Right.
imbalanced. You know, there might be missing something. You know, like, and yeah, and we're not any doctors here. We're not, you know, like we're not professionals, but we're giving you what our, you know.
Right. Well, I can tell you firsthand experience for dealing with people close to me that have dealt with depression and anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so while I'm not coming from a medical standpoint, I'm coming from what it's like to deal with that, and I almost turn inward on myself and kind of see some of the things that other people are experiencing within myself.
Right.
You know, so it's kind of like one of the things why I wanted to talk about it too, because this is like where it becomes therapeutic for me. And you know, it's funny. I just want to throw a stat out here real quick. Like over 300 million people worldwide live with it.
Yeah.
Live with depression. You know, but there's a stigma that people feel like they can't get help.
Right.
And, you know, people are more likely to hide it than to try and deal with it.
Right.
And that goes around with like the social stigma, you know. The problem with it is you have people who are on the outside of it who say things like, you know, just snap out of it or cheer up or other people have it worse. You know, and that's the stigma at work there. It minimalizes the reality of depression.
Right.
You know. So, I mean, that's why we're here today, is to talk about that stigma, to let people know that, you know, it is okay to talk about it. Like, it is okay to feel that way. Like, there are places or people that are there to help.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes talking about it just helps.
Right. And I mean, dealt with pressure. I mean, depression when I was younger. You know, like, being that, you know, chubby kid
Right.
coming up, you know, like, and you know, the path I took, you know, kind of wasn't, you know, maybe the best path, but you know, I was a rebel, you know, like, I thought, you know what, nobody can make fun of me if I don't, you know, make fun of myself and, you know, laugh, and you know, I was a funny guy, and then, you know, the guy that was, you know, push me too far, I'm gonna knock you out, but yeah, it was tough, you know, and you know, I'm not taking anything, you know, from my pop, but my father was military, and you know, like, he was a Marine, so you know, they're a little, they're wired different.
Right.
So it was a thing that you couldn't just say, "Hey, Dad, you know, I'm not feeling so hot," and he would be like, "Well, we'll go run laps or do
Right.
something." You know what I mean? Like,
you would get the man up response,
pretty
right?
much.
And you know, like, not everybody is empathetic to it,
Right?
So unless like you really want to sit down and look at it, or you experience some of the things or all the symptoms yourself, like, it's hard to empathize with somebody who's experiencing that. And I know for me, with people close to me, like, I had a really hard time understanding what was going on. I thought for the most part they were
lazy,
yep. Or
that's what I for a while I thought the same thing. I'm like, come on, you're not, you cannot, like. So my sister had it real bad, and I had a little stint with it, but, and you know, she got past her thing, but like, there were some people I knew that literally they would lay in bed all day,
right.
And it's like, yo, like, now you're just lazy. You're like, you better roll over. You're gonna get some bed sores or something. Like,
right.
Come on, you're so lazy you stink, you know. But you know, that was the old, you know, we didn't understand. I didn't understand, you know, that it could be that debilitating.
Right, and the thing of it is too, it's, you know, I'm gonna be real about this. Media hasn't helped, you know, because movies and shows often portray people with depression as lazy or unstable or dangerous or you know, hopeless. But the reality of it is it's very common.
Yeah,
it's very common, and you know, we got to all understand that people who are living with it are our coworkers, our friends, our family
Some
members.
people might not even know that they're dealing with depression. Like, they just say they don't know, because you know, they might just be feeling, you know, like, it's not normal to feel sad all the time.
Right.
That's not normal.
And there is a distinct difference between being sad and being depressed.
Right. I mean,
you know,
there's one thing that you can control, And then when you wake up in the morning, you could, I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna be happy today. I'm gonna try to be happy today.
Right.
And that's one thing I think you can control.
And I don't know if that's a realistic possibility for somebody who's actually in the midst of depression
I don't think so. No.
because it not only affects your mental your mentality rather, sorry, your mentality also affects you physically.
Right.
So you might not be able to get up out of bed
Right.
physically.
Right.
And then it's
and that's hard for me to understand, like, because I never had anything that was that debilitating that I couldn't do anything that I wanted to, and like, I get I get sad, I get sad and everything, but I don't. I don't think it's everybody gets sad here and there.
right.
You get sad about certain things or whatever. But when you're talking about like truly like depression and like that, that's some serious shit, dude. That's some serious shit. Like
it is, and I think
that's me.
you and I have a unique relationship where we're not afraid to talk to each other when we're having things like this. But not everybody has that.
Right. And I'm grateful to have that with you. And I say that, thank you, buddy. Because I can call you up and say, hey, dude, like you want to come up real quick, like you want to have a beer with me or something, like go smoke a cigar with me, because I'm just not feeling right today.
Right.
And you'd be up in a heartbeat.
Right.
No questions asked. You're right there, and vice versa.
Right.
So
and that's the thing. Like there are people, and this is where my heart goes out. There are people who live a very lonely life of solitude, and that might not be of any fault of their own. And if there's anybody listening or watching, I get that, because there was a point in my life where I became very secluded, and it was very difficult for me to go out because an anxiety almost came with. And I can give you a case in point. I'm not going to get into the details, but there's a case in point where for the longest time, like, I did not want to take a walk from my house at the time to the store a few blocks away, because I didn't want to pass somebody, because I had it in my head that they were going to, look at me and have certain feelings about me. Like, I just had that anxiety with it. And looking back at it a little bit, like, I might have had some depression going on there, because I was kind of dealing with a pretty rough patch in my life. And thankfully the people around me are the ones that were able to help me out. But not everybody has that, because you do become withdrawn, you do become secluded, and people do pull away from you because they associate your behaviors with the stigma. They think you're just lazy, or they think you're crazy, or they think it's, whatever it is.
You're actually, so you blow off. Let's say we're friends, and you're going through your depression, and I'm like, hey Tom, I'm having a little something, Friday night. You want to come over? No. And and then after a while, with you saying no, and then after a while, I'm gonna be like, well, you know what? He just doesn't like me anymore, and I stop calling. You stop, and then you just keep on slipping into that hole.
And unfortunately,
and I didn't know what's going on.
Right, and unfortunately, I think that happens a lot.
Right.
But I think, like, part of it is being a good parent, or being a good brother or sister or aunt, uncle, or a grandparent, or a friend, or a teacher, is being able to look at that behavior
and see the pattern,
change.
Right, and be like, hey, what's going on? Like, what's really going on here?
And I think it's not a problem, it's a multifaceted thing. It's not a problem that I think one person could selectively say, oh, that person's going through depression, because you never really know. Some people just have enough of people and that's it, and they're not depressed. But it's the pattern or the way it happens. Like, so if case in point, like, this is just a hypothetical. If you're a math teacher, right, in an elementary school, and you've had the same student for 4 years, in year 5 he comes in and starts the year off great. Something happens, and now he is withdrawn. And I kind of get it. Like, if something traumatic happened, like, there's what could be grief or something going on there, where they are going to be withdrawn for a while. But, like, it's the behaviors that go along with it. It's the just not doing anything. It's the not wanting to be around people. The
not doing your assignments.
Uncontrollable bouts of crying or whatever. And I would think, and I say this a lot, and we talk about this a lot, like as a parent, like how can you not see the differences in your kid?
Right.
And I'm not knocking parents because sometimes it's very subtle. It's
Right.
you don't always get a chance to see that, especially as the kids get a little bit older, and
you're hustling and bustling with everything else
right,
going on, and
right. And it's just one of those things where it's like I think parents when it comes to their kids buy into the stigma too, because I hear it a lot. Oh, my child can't be depressed, or my child can't be, doesn't have anxiety or ADHD or whatever the case may be. When in reality they do, but as a parent you want your kid to not have those things, so you believe that they don't have those things.
Right.
And that's another stigma that's hard to break. And we're going to get into those topics throughout this podcast. And I just want to remind everybody, this is a big deviation from our normal podcast, but this is the way it's going to go from now on. And, every month we're going to pick a topic that has some kind of significant impact on people, whether it's depression like this one or, Alzheimer's. That's one of the ones I want to go over. Things like that. Or just, how you deal with, mental trauma, or you have a traumatic event, and how you deal with that. We're going to get into I don't think that counts. But we're gonna get into these topics, and we hope people
we're still gonna have fun. We're still
gonna have fun.
But we just want to helping we just want to help. We give another avenue for people to go to, and you might find something that could help you, and and I'm gonna tell you this right now, like if you find our show, like if our show has helped you out in any way,
let us know.
And share it. Be like, yo, these guys this was a great episode. It helped me. Share it, guys, because every share that we get from you guys, it just keeps us rolling big. And that's why we got the 11,000. We had it spiked, and and my heart goes out to you guys. Like, thank you guys.
Thank you.
We want to keep this. We want to get this rolling and get some momentum, and we're gonna start going out in the public, and we're gonna start going to different events, and we're gonna get there, guys. I promise you that we are gonna get there.
Yeah, like before we get back into the depression thing, like one of the things I want everybody to understand is we're two guys who care about each other.
Care about your family.
Care about our families. We care about each other's families. Mm-hmm. But like we do care about our community. We do care about. If I have never personally met you, and I can speak for Rumble when I say this, if we never personally met you, and you would come up to us and say, hey, like I just need somebody to talk to. I'm going through a rough time. We would listen and not judge. Like,
absolutely.
If I can do, that much, that's great. And I always say this too, like, I don't care about how many listeners we have. And I mean, I do, but like the reality of it is I don't care how many listeners we have, or how many views, or how many subscribers. I don't care about any of that.
Right. If we're not in it for the money, we're not nothing. We're not making no money on anything. We're just
right. If I help just one person,
it's worth it.
It's worth it.
Definitely.
And that's my thing. Like, that's what this is all about for me.
Yeah, definitely.
So getting back into it, like, we talked about the stigma a lot. So I guess like, what everyone's asking is how do you break the stigma?
And by talking about it.
Right. Well, step 2 is conversation. When people share their stories,
mm-hmm.
When you put the human element on their stories, it kind of breaks the stereotype.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then step 2 is education.
Mm-hmm.
We've been educating ourselves a lot.
Yeah.
And now I've again, through people that are close to me, I've had a lot of experience going to psychologists and therapists, right. And not for myself, but being there for other people and hearing what they have to say, and how they can, how them being able to talk about it changes, how they feel about it and how they feel about themselves.
Right.
I think a lot of it for people when they start feeling this way, they don't talk about it too, because it's embarrassing to them.
It is.
You
They almost
know,
feel like, like people are gonna look at me different, and like people are gonna judge me or this, that, and the third. Like, and you know what? And the people out there that are judging these people, like shame on you, shame on you for judging people that have a I wouldn't say it's not a disability, but a disabilitating, you know. What do you? I don't even call it a disease
it's
or
definitely I would call it a medical condition.
condition. Yeah, I
You know,
guess.
a mental illness.
Right.
I'm not I'm not big on the language of this. We're still like
Yeah.
I have a much better understanding in my head than I can
Yeah.
convey.
But
But
like for people that judge people or like single people out that have like shame on you. Like come on, dude. Like we really gonna be in high school like this? Like we gonna judge people like that? Like that's pathetic. You're
right,
pathetic. Like I have no I don't I try not to judge anybody, and I know sometimes you say I don't judge nobody. I try not to judge people. Like
right,
I try to see everything through other people's eyes, and I try to walk through other I try to look at things. I try to maybe if I walked in their shoes, maybe I would
right,
um and I don't know. I just the older I got, the more mature I got, and the more you know I had more empathy for people. Like like I mean, I feel for people. Like like
right,
people that
right,
are maybe have less less fortunate. Like grew up with different than me or any it's like you can't blame somebody that they're a product of their environment or like.
right,
And I don't like people that judge and put people down or like, oh, I'm better than this. I'm better. Like, I don't care what you got, what kind of car you drive, what house you live in, what kind of girl you got. Like, well, big deal because when it's their last day, it's their last day. Like,
right. And the thing of it is like I don't know what happened to people helping each other out and supporting people.
yep,
And like
that's almost like people are shocked when you do that. Like, oh,
right,
you helped
right,
him out. Like, what do you mean you got help? Like that's almost like that's the norm anymore.
right. So like the first two steps or conversation and education, you know, language also goes
What?
goes
Fuck.
to this.
Ass.
No, like
Oh.
instead of saying he's crazy or she's weak or he's lazy, we need to start saying things like they're going through something.
Yeah.
Respectful words change the culture. You
Nope.
know what I'm saying?
Not.
Saying, oh my God, somebody's crazy. You kind of put a wall around them that people don't want to help them.
Yeah.
And the reality of it is depression is not being crazy. It is
Yeah.
you're going through something that you
I mean,
can't get out of.
Sometimes I'm going down the rails on a crazy train.
Right.
Running that crazy train on no.
Yeah, and then the last part of breaking it is support. If you know someone's struggling, don't try and fix them.
No.
But what you can do is listen and be present and remind them
Absolutely.
that you're there for them. They're not alone.
And if that's one thing I can, and that's what like being in a brotherhood and everything. Sometimes you would get you call your brothers all the time as much as you can. Sometimes, a lot of times you the best brother is just a brother that listens.
Right.
Just a brother that listens because after the conversation they can be saying whatever they just want to get that. Sometimes it's just therapeutic just to get it off your chest to someone.
Right. Right.
And someone that's not gonna judge, somebody's not gonna, try to put their, maybe you can put your 2 cents in here and there, but just let that person talk. Let them get it off their chest.
Right. Right. And like, I think that's a big part of it is being able to talk about it, and even sometimes just like having somebody that's not even doesn't even say anything, just willing to listen. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, shit. There's sometimes. How many times we hang out, dude? We barely, like we'll have a few words, sometimes we just hang out. We're just drinking a beer, just working on something, and we're barely talking, but we're having a great time.
Right.
Like we're just being with somebody else that's positive and somebody that's being with somebody that's positive, and that's it's it can be therapeutic. Just being with somebody that you know that cares and that has your back and that
I know there was a couple times where I was having a shit day for whatever reason, and I don't want to venture down, and I don't want to.
Did you shit your pants or something?
No.
Oh, I was like some shit day, like, oh, you shit your pants, you had to go, whatever.
No. Like, I was just having a bad day. I just wasn't
you were off.
feeling it or whatever. And, I know there was times where I would come up and just sit on your porch, and we wouldn't even really exchange a whole lot of dialogue.
Smoke a cigar.
Smoke a cigar or whatever. And that was just knowing that should I choose to talk about whatever's going on, that you were there to listen.
Yeah.
And that goes a long, 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 long way with people.
It does.
Because like I said, like there's been times where, let me rephrase this. There were times where I was, I might have been going through some shit.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize I was going through some shit.
You're ready about going off the deep end.
No, not
postal?
No. Just going through some shit where I just wasn't on
time.
Right. It just wasn't myself.
Yeah.
And I didn't look at it and, well, maybe I was depressed or maybe I was going through this, but it took other people going through it for me to look back at that and be like, you know what? Like, that's exactly how I felt.
Yeah.
But it's also, I was able to work out of that.
Yeah, you were able.
Could you imagine feeling that way for months or years?
I can't, because I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, and luckily, I was able, and you were able to work yourself past that and get yourself out of that hole. But sometimes that hole is
right.
So nice,
and you
don't want to come out of that hole.
And the thing is I'm trying some new shit here, so we're here to listen, and we won't. It can be anonymous,
Right.
If you just need someone to hear what you have going on, we're setting up a phone number for the podcast that'll be debuting here in the next few episodes. We have an email. And email us. We're here for you. If
everybody.
If you experience this and you came through and you think you can help somebody else, share your story. Again, you can remain anonymous. We will not give your name or anything.
Yeah.
The whole goal of this is we want to uplift people. We
Yep.
want to help people. We want to strengthen our community. We want to develop bonds with the people within our community. And
personal excellence is the best. The best, being perfect is and being like a better person is, how can I say this? Like, it's the ultimate rebellion. Like the norm is they don't want you to be happy. They don't want you to be, educated. They don't want you to be, anything. They want you under their thumb.
Right.
But once you're, you strive for it to be better, and you're unstoppable.
Right.
There's no things you can't do.
Right.
And when I came to you the July 4th and I said I wanted to do a podcast, I said I wanted to do something to help people and to give, because I remember the first podcast we did was about men and suicide, and
right.
the rates of men, and that's kind of what I wanted to do. And this is we went off the rail, whatever, but which that was a combination of both our, we said, hey, let's try something to do, and we thought we'd get on, a train, or maybe get on a little wagon, but then we decided that, fuck that wagon, and we're gonna go back to what we
originally wanted to do.
Yeah,
right.
And I'm happy. I'm excited about it. I'm really excited to help. I'm really excited to actually just be out here to help people, and that's at the end of the day, like, I think that's what I'm here for. And Tom can tell me this. I mean, he has told me numerous times, Rumble, why do you help these people? Why do you help these people? Why do you help these people? And it's just in me. Like, I know, like, if I had $10 in my pocket, I'm giving you $8 because I know I can survive on $2 because I just know I'm built a little different. Some people out there might be a little softer, and they might not be able to go through the things that I've gone through in my life, and
Right.
so I say, you know what, hey, and I look at it like this: hey, if you get burned, whatever, okay, so that just shows people their colors. But there's been times that I help people out that actually they took the help, they better themselves, and they went on, and they're grateful. They're grateful to I don't know. I rather be that. I'd rather be that person, you know, extending a hand, trying to help somebody up instead of putting my foot down on somebody.
Right, and I said it a couple times on some other episodes of the podcast. It takes as much energy to pick somebody up as it does to push them down. So why do we push people down? And I don't know. Like that's kind of one of the things too I want to get into is like why do people have that mentality that
it's like the high school cliquey shit. Like,
right.
oh, you're better than this. Like, no, we're not all better. You put your pants on the same as I put my pants on. Sometimes I put my pants on backwards, but you know.
And the reality of it is we're all adults. We're supposed to be adults, and
some people can't dress themselves though.
No, they can't.
Are you allowed to dress yourself? Does your wife let you dress?
She does.
She does dress you.
Alyssa, no. but the thing of it is people just need to be the person who helps somebody, or be the person who listens without judgment, or be the person who makes it safe for somebody to talk about what's going on through them.
Right.
Because I think people become desensitized to these things a little bit.
A little bit.
It's everywhere. People hear about it. They don't really understand it. It's, it's the same way. I can remember I felt a lot differently about some of the shocking music I listen to now as I did when I first heard it. Okay. I've become desensitized to it.
Yeah.
I can only like put myself in my grandparents' or my grandfather's shoes the first time he heard "fuck" on TV. You know what I'm saying?
My God, yeah.
Or the first time there was a naked woman on television or on HBO or whatever was going on.
I mean, can you imagine?
Now we don't even bat an eye at that stuff.
I mean, seriously, when you have Carly B, like everybody pop your pussy like this, and like talking about, I'm like, holy shit! Did she just say that? Like, holy,
right?
Like, oh my God!
But the younger generation doesn't even flinch.
No, they're
so it's like we do become
wet ass pussy. I'm like, wet ass what?
Right.
What is she talking about?
Right.
Damn.
It's. I think that goes a long way too. Like people are just when you hear the word depression, what effect does it have on people anymore? But here's the thing: like I want everybody to put themselves in a place too. Like, what would you do if your girlfriend or your boyfriend or one of your kids or your parents or your sister or brother would start going through depression? And then what would you do if they ultimately couldn't find the light and chose the long, the permanent solution to a temporary problem?
Yeah. I have friends that in that.
Right, and I think we all know somebody who
that almost brings tears to my eyes.
Right. Like, and I think everybody knows everybody knows somebody that has chosen that path and they're no longer here with us. And like some people don't, but I'm sure, like, I'm sure we don't have to look very far.
Yeah.
As big music fans, we know about Chester Bennington and Chris Cornell and
Staley.
Well, he didn't die from that.
He died from drug overdose, which was in depression because he was like 100 pounds when he was secluded into his apartment.
Kurt Cobain and things like this.
Kurt Cobain got killed by El Duce.
That's not what this is about. But my point is too, like, I think a lot of what helps me through my day is music.
Yes.
And that might not help everybody. It helps me. And speaking of, of music in this, there's a really cool project out there, and we're going to be bringing the CEO and founder of it on our podcast here, and
it was awesome that you stumbled upon them, and like what I looked on the top notch. So they're good.
Yeah,
They're good.
I've had some correspondence with the founder. We talked on Facebook,
Right.
on Messenger, and he'd like to be part of the show, and we're gonna bring him in. We're actually gonna be doing an episode just on, not just so much metal music, but heavier music, hard rock music, and dealing with mental illness.
Right.
But the name of the project is the Metal Outreach Project, and
Look them up.
basically what they do is they connect heavy metal musicians with fans who've leaned on their music to survive life's darkest moments. And it was funny because I was talking to him about this, and we were just, kind of BSing a little bit, and I said, like, you and I had recently seen Metallica over the summer.
Yeah, show was awesome.
And why I can tell you every song they played, probably in the order they played it, that is not what stands out to me that show. What stands out to me that show is the speech that James Hetfield had about suicide.
That almost,
and I was talking to the founder of the Metal Outreach Project, and just kind of telling him this. So we're gonna collaborate with that project a little bit.
Yeah.
The CEO and founder is gonna come on and do a podcast when our schedules line up. We would love to do some other things. We would love to collaborate with them long term.
I got a buddy, Yogi, if you're listening. To talk to you about the things that you went through with the musician, and and he, Yogi's dealt with depression, dealt with addiction, and he does music out of he's very musically talented. He's a great guy.
Yeah, he started following us. I didn't know who he was. I know you know him.
Yeah.
But I didn't know who he was, and I will sit and watch his videos, and he is a very talented, very talented guy. Like, really, I'm looking. I know you had mentioned that he might want to come on and be a guest.
Yeah, he actually said he's going to do it. Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to that because you know me. I'm big into music. I have guitars, and I'm decent at it.
Yeah.
But again, like, we're looking for guests, and we're not looking for guests for us. Like,
no,
this podcast is as much about the people who listen to it and watch it as it is about us.
We just want to have fun.
Yeah.
We want to have fun. We want them to have fun. We want people to see us having fun, and keep this. Let's get the snowball. Let's get a snowball rolling. It's already starting to roll slowly, but let's get some speed. Let's get it bigger and bigger. And,
right.
Sorry about that.
I always tell him to mute his phone, and he never does. I always tell him.
I'm doing a podcast right now. I can't talk. You're on the air, but I'll talk to you later. Bye. Bye.
We're sorry about that.
Sorry, guys.
You take notice, you never hear my phone go off.
Well.
Why is that, Rumble?
Because I am Mr. Popularity.
Is that what it is?
I think so. People just love me because, you know what? When I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence. I'm just a great American, winning machine over here.
Right.
I'm the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
So I'm just experimenting here a little bit.
You remember who said that? The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
I think that was
come on,
Ric Flair.
No,
the best. Bret Hart.
Bret Hart, yes, sir.
Yeah. Sorry, I was focusing in on this, and
Yeah, I know.
So
I got a lot of non-useful. I mean, little tidbits like that in this head that are. It's not really useful much, but sometimes we have to quote.
So I think everybody can see this on our screen. I don't know. I'm still learning the overlay. So down here.
Where's that? Okay.
So down here.
In this area.
That is the Metal Outreach Project. You can search that on Facebook and then check them out, support them, follow them. We're gonna be bringing them on here to as a guest, and gonna talk to them a little bit about what they're doing. I really enjoy. I shouldn't say really enjoy. I really like the idea of what they're doing.
Right.
Because I can tell you that there are several times that I've listened to a song and I connect instantly.
Oh yeah.
And it just so happens to be about this topic, depression or anxiety or mental illness or whatever. And it makes me feel a little bit better about life knowing that this guy whose music I'm listening to or this girl whose music I'm listening to feels the same way I feel.
Right.
And for someone who's, might be isolated from other people, sometimes that's enough to get, I'm not the only one.
I mean, I remember being 14, 15, dark in a room, just music blasting, just start, just listen to some, usually rock, some, like Tool, listening to Tool or listening to Pantera, just like in my head, you know what I mean? Like just get in your head,
Right. And for me, I started off listening to punk.
Through punk, like Kennedys and all them.
Yep.
Oh man, you were one of those punk kids.
And through that, I came into hardcore. Right.
Tupac, where's that, bro?
So I came into to hardcore metal, which was my stepping stone to metal and metalcore and things like that. But what I started taking notice to is, I think I connected with that music more because it was more emotional in the context of what people go through day to day, and and it helped, and
right.
I'm kind of stumbling over my words all podcast because this shit's a little personal.
Yeah, I almost got tears in my eyes.
You
talking earlier when we said about the all that stuff, but so like. I understand about stumbling.
And I want to apologize too because we kind of been. This is like episode 1 all over again where we're still finding our way. So by the time we get to 10 on this season, which is season 2 now, by the time we get to episode 10,
we'll be good.
We're going to be good to go. No, we don't script this. Like we'll take notes, but most of this is improv for us.
Yeah.
So
I did work a 12-hour shift last night. I woke up, I'm not feeling so great. So
no, but he's dedicated.
My stomach hurts. The sun's in my eye. What other excuse do you want?
I don't know, but you're here.
I'm here.
You're here.
I'm looking pretty.
You're dedicated. You're getting me sick.
Yeah. So want to make out.
But part of the thing that
But what were you talking about music there?
Well, I said you.
So you started off with punk. Well, I was gonna tell you. I'm just a connoisseur of all music. Like I started out, I like pretty much old rock because I guess that's my father liked the old rock, and I like the Zeppelin, the Floyds, and all that. And then I started getting into some hard. Then there was a rap age. Then I got my Tupac because I love Tupac. I think he was a poet. It was like
definitely.
Then it became I was a big thing in the old country. I love old country. Like old country. Oh man, Merle Haggard. Like that. Like the new country. Yeah, it's okay, but you gotta have.
You like
twang.
the outlaw country.
Yeah, I like that outlaw country. You gotta have some twang in your country. So like I'm a fan of all music as long as it has a good beat and the message is cool. Like I can get down with it.
But my question for you is
I don't think there's any music I really don't like. I don't like.
But my question is what music do you connect to the most? Like on like your soul, it connects to your soul more.
Could be rock metalish,
right?
Yeah.
And that's the same for me. Like, so I can remember, and it's funny because this is the reason that I like Metallica, and yeah, I know they're the most popular band on the planet, but
I used to hate them.
That's not why
the
I like
them. The whole Napster thing. I used to get pissed at them because I got one of their
right.
Blue Ridge will give me one of those notes.
I wasn't into Metallica. I'm 45. I wasn't into Metallica till I was about 15. All right, so I was just starting my sophomore year of high school.
So it'd be like 95.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get into details of it. I had somebody that I knew, wasn't overly close with them, but knew him well. You know,
He was big Metallica fan.
no. But there was a tragedy there. He ended up losing his life.
Oh.
And one of the first songs I heard that day when I got home from school was "Fade to Black" by Metallica. Now I wasn't a Metallica fan. I think at this point I didn't even own a Metallica album.
Right.
I knew who they were because of course they were on MTV all the time with the Black Album.
But that's a pretty difficult song to hear.
Right.
When you're going through that.
So now you got to remember I was into punk and hardcore at the time.
Right.
Okay. "Fade to Black" is a power ballad.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
And I couldn't, like, when I first heard it, I didn't pay too much attention to it.
It was just slow.
Right. So, but when he started singing those lyrics, "Life it seems will fade away," it resonated with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up, at that point, I didn't know what album that was on.
Right.
So, and it wasn't like the internet was prevalent. So I remember there used to be a record store out at the little mall out here on 443.
Yep.
Thumbing through the M's until I found Metallica, and thumbing through the Metallica albums, looking at the back of the track list and trying to get "Fade to Black," which is on Ride the Lightning. We all know that now.
Yeah.
They didn't have it.
Ride the Lightning was what? That?
The one with the electric chair on the cover.
Yeah.
They didn't have it.
Had Creeping Death, Ride the Lightning.
No, yes. Yep. For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Yeah, For Whom the Bell Tolls. Call Tool. That was what, in the... What was that album?
I want to say that came out in 84?
Yeah, you're right. That was one of the best albums they had. I personally love that album. Love that album.
Right.
Creeping Death. That's my call.
For me, my hands down, I have two Metallica albums that could not be any more different. But my two favorite Metallica albums are Master of Puppets.
Good one.
And Reload.
Reload? You like Reload? Okay.
You got to listen to Reload, and you got to listen to Reload for what it is.
Yeah, I just like. I think Ride the Lightning was such a great. I don't know. I could put that CD in and I listen front to back and not skip one and not
I'm one of the few people other than that Lou Reed collaboration they did with Lou Reed and Metallica did an album together.
Yeah.
Other than that album, and you can say what you want about Saint Anger, the one where it sounds like the drums are a garbage can or a fucking pot.
Yep. See, I'm not.
I like every Metallica album. I'm not in love with them.
No.
And I don't hold them all in the same regard. But there's not one Metallica album that I hate because I can always find at least a handful of songs on a Metallica album that I can relate to.
So I'll tell you this: I got the tickets for when you got for you to get married and everything. That was kind of like your bachelor party or whatever.
Right.
So I like Metallica. Like there's like over the years, like you hear Metallica. I know their stuff. Like never really. I guess I never really when I sat in that concert and. I like the one that has a special place in my heart.
Right.
Because football, we used to walk out to the football field to that song, and a lot of times on Friday night. So that was always my number one Metallica song. But I never realized until I sat there and listened to all the hits that they had. Like they got some bangers, and like that you almost forget about over time, and you're like, oh shit, like oh fuck, I forgot about this song.
I want you though to. All the songs that you like of Metallica.
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to, when you have time, I want you to look and see what those songs are actually about.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of them have to deal with these topics.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I like the one. Like that whole scenario, and I forget what the movie that the music video.
Johnny Get Your Gun.
Yes, yep. They did that perfectly. Like that was like one of the. That was awesome.
I want to tell you something cool here, and we're getting a little off topic, which is fine. We're getting close to the end of our hour, but do you know they bought the rights to that movie? Metallica bought the rights to that movie to be able to use it in their video.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Right. So.
Did you actually watch the movie? That actual movie?
I've never actually seen the movie.
Yeah, me neither.
There were a few times throughout adulthood that I tried to find it.
Yeah.
I found a couple shitty unwatchable versions online.
Right.
Um,
It looks interesting, but I don't know if it's just the music video that makes it look interesting.
right.
Or
I can tell you one movie I wish would be out, at least on streaming, that I really
Human
want to
Centipede.
see. No, the Metallica Saved My Life.
Oh yes.
That looks like, for those of you who don't know what that is,
We're gonna find it.
We're gonna share a link. It's not. I've been hounding.
No, but they're not gonna do that anymore. Like when they come to tour.
It's gonna get released.
Okay.
But
so they're done with that movie now. So
well, yeah, the movie's been done. So if we would have, if the concert we went to wouldn't have been last minute, like we could have went down earlier,
watched the movie
to one of the movie theaters in Philadelphia, and they actually had screenings of it before the shows.
Gotcha.
So when they did the no repeat weekends, it was you could bowl with the crew. You could go to the bowling alley and bowl with the crew, like at the Brooklyn Bowl.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of their, I think it was Kirk Hammett or somebody had an art exhibit at the museum.
Oh shit! For real?
The bars around the area all had Metallica tribute
That's
bands playing. Yeah, there was a lot going on. If you donated blood,
yeah,
they gave you a free T-shirt.
Nice.
You know, they do a lot.
I wish I would have got that. I get mad because I want to get that cheesesteak freaking T-shirt.
Well, you can find them. I just don't think you want to pay what they want.
$300, $400.
Right.
I'm not paying that much.
No.
I mean, I got the shirt that we got, but
right.
I want the cheesesteak.
Well, they did something cool, and I know other bands have done this, but I don't think it's been on the scale Metallica did. So what they did was every city that they were in, they had their own artwork for the posters, for awesome. The T-shirts. For
kind of reminding me like Clutch. Clutch had their own artwork on different
right.
albums, and like they were the Hess with the 454 and everything like. And I remember going through those albums and looking at the nice artwork. I'm like, man, I don't really want to get a tattoo of that. And then I go look, somebody can do a tattoo, and they're like, what are you, crazy?
You went to the wrong tattoo artist.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, for the people listening or watching, like, you're going to take notice that we're gonna talk about our topics, and it's somehow going to evolve into a music conversation.
Yeah, or whatever.
Because, I mean... I think the single most important thing in my life outside of my family and my friends is music.
Yeah.
You know, like, I could be pissed off and listen to music and feel better. I could be sad and listen to music and feel better. I could be bored as fuck and...
Music, sex, drugs, rock and roll.
You'll see me, I'll put music on and I'll be fucking air guitar and doing...
We actually have, we might get it released. It might get released to the actual public, but we have actually music videos of us drunk. Music videos. Air guitar.
What I would like to do is for you to remember... yeah, I would like for you to remember the lyrics to that song, and we could actually record it here in the studio. I would love to do that.
What, the country dancing?
No. Remember on the porch when I'm playing guitar and you were singing a song?
Josie's on a vacation far away.
No. It was you just were improvising the lyrics.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So,
all right.
I don't want to ruin it because I want you to remember it or at least write lyrics.
I'll write lyrics down.
And we'll record it live down here.
Okay.
You know.
I remember.
Don't worry. You know, for the longest time, and we have a couple minutes here to kill, so for the longest time I thought when he sang that song that was a true story, and it's not. He completely made up the story for that song.
Really?
Yeah. I thought it was a real, like he really saw this happening, but he didn't.
What?
that
Coming in the Air Tonight?
Yeah. I thought that was based on an actual event, and it wasn't.
There was do you remember there was a TV show where they played Coming in the Air Tonight, and they're driving in a car. It was like a Maserati, and the guy has a shotgun. What the heck was that?
I don't know. What is going on
Sounds
upstairs?
like the police are here.
What is going on?
All right, we might have to go, guys.
I don't think it's the cops. They would have stormed us by now. But But again, guys,
On that note, comp CMI. Woo!
Yeah. No, but in all seriousness here, if you or someone you know is going through anything, talk to somebody.
Yeah, please. And if not, talk to us.
There's a saying, about looking, leaving a light on. We will always have a light on for you guys, whether it's on our Facebook page, on the Messenger, whether it's an email. If you know us personally, text us. Facebook message for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're always here to listen to you. We're here to help.
What's that song?
I don't know.
Candle in the wind.
That's totally a different song. Okay. But all right, guys.
See you. Love you. Bye.
This is going to be the end for this podcast. We will be back. We're going to do this every week religiously this time.
Even the times that I have to work, then I'm going to
Well, I try to work around his schedule, and you know what happens when I work around his schedule? He ends up being late. So.
It's actually late. I wasn't that late today.
No. All right, guys.
See you. Love you. Bye.
Bye. Take care.
Hey, before we go, tell us what you think of the new format. Tell me what you think about our new direction. If you guys like it, and you know what? I don't care if you don't like it. Tell us if you don't like it.
Cool. Listen, any questions, comments, or concerns that you have, I'm going to
Tom and Rumble
at gmail.com. I wanted to have that up on the screen, but it's gone. It's on our Facebook page. We're going to share it again today. We're going to share a bunch of stuff this weekend. This podcast is going to be uploaded tonight. Yes. So tonight would be Saturday, October 4th. So guys, let us know. Like, again, I apologize. We were kind of like a little sleepwalking through this today.
I think there's a little bit of a confusion of where they can see the podcast.
All right, so you can watch you can watch the video on YouTube exclusively.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to run through this now. We have 100 followers. We hit all the criteria to do lives on Facebook.
Okay, cool.
All right. We probably will never do this live. We might do short segments live.
Okay, cool.
All right. So
now, can we upload this to Facebook itself or no?
I don't do that.
Okay, all right.
So you'll be able to watch the video portion of this episode and all future episodes on YouTube exclusively.
Okay.
And then the audio podcast is on Spotify.
Okay.
YouTube Music.
Okay.
Apple.
Okay.
iHeartRadio.
Alrighty.
Amazon.
10-4.
We're on all the major platforms for podcasts.
Man, I'm putting myself out there.
All right, guys. With that, we will see you next time. Be good. Be good to yourself.
Smell you later.
Be good to yourself and to each other.
Yeah, definitely. Smell you later.